Hey guys, Roman Reaper here. So I'm just outside the cinema, as you can see. About to head in for a cinema double bill. Haven't done one of these for ages. Very, very excited. I love doing these. They're just a lot of fun. Very satisfying going in from one film to another. But not doing the most obvious of double bills. League of Super Pets and see how they run. Not two films you'd probably ever think being paired together. But yeah. It'll be a fun experience. I head in, get my seat for Super Pets, which starts soon. Yeah, get my snacks and go see it. So yeah, I got my popcorn and Coke and ready to see League of Super Pets. I must admit, I'm mainly saying this just for Keanu Reeves. So yeah, that was League of Super Pets. Film follows Crypto, Superman's dog, and a gang of shelter animals who all get powers and they can team up and save the Justice League. That's pretty much about as deep as it gets plot-wise. Obviously, it's a family film, so it hits all the animated movie tropes. And so there's no real revelation. Wow, I wasn't expecting that to happen. But for what it is a fairly fun, light-hearted little time that the whole family can enjoy. There are a fair amount of decent laughs, nothing gut-busting or anything, and some of them only really get the man struggles. But there are a fair amount of decent ones that I did enjoy, specifically gags about dog-related gags, and some references to other superheroes. And sort of what I liked as well is that they made use of DC Comics lore, and that was super fun to watch. Obviously it's not quite as clever about it as say Into the Spider-Verse, but what it is really, let's be real. And voice acting was pretty decent for the most part. There's nothing too special, but Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson had their little chemistry, and it worked well despite the fact that they're obviously recording their voices in separate booths and separate rooms. John Krasinski was good as Superman. I like him, and I also actually quite enjoyed. Standing at the film, Keanu Reeves as Batman is very, very funny. A real fun send-up of everything you expect from Batman. And he's just a delight to watch. He has the perfect voice as well. Doesn't even need to put it on. Yeah, the animation is fine. It's nothing special. There are some fun little moments where they utilise 2D animation, but I would have liked it maybe to look a bit more comic booky, really take advantage of those roots. But as I say, it's fine, kind of stylized, kind of cartoony, and there's even a couple decent moments that tug my heartstrings. Specifically, a scene where we learn about Ace, Kevin Hart's character's backstory, and that was pretty emotional, especially being a dog owner myself. But yeah, League of Super Pets, it is what it is. A fairly light-hearted, fun diversion. The whole family can enjoy it. It's nothing special. It's not really going to stay with me for long, but it was alright. I had fun with it. There are two extra credit scenes to say for. They're both pretty funny, especially the second one with Crypto and Black Adam's dog debating the fine line between being an anti-hero and a straight-up villain. Yeah. League of Super Pets, I'm going to give it a 6 or a 6.5. Out of 10, I'm undecided. I'm probably leaning more towards a 6, but yeah. So yeah, that was Super Pets. Now time for part 2 of the double bill. See how they run. I am really, really looking forward to this. Looks a ton of fun, and yeah, I imagine it'd be a fairly funny sort of self-aware film in the vein of like Knives Out. The fact the whole thing just sort of looks like Knives Out. If it was like directed by Wes Anderson, the result probably wouldn't be too dissimilar. But yeah, got a bit until the film starts. But I'll go get my ticket checked, get my snacks, get my seat, and go and see how they run. Yeah, I got popcorn here and a blue frozen Fanta. Ready to watch part 2 of my cinnamon double bill. See how they run. So yeah, just got back, another double bill finished, and just saw see how they run. So this film follows an American film director who is in London in the West End and has plans to adapt a successful stage play whodunit into a feature film. One night after a celebration for the play's 100th performance, he's murdered, and brought to the case are a world weary alcoholic inspector and a overeager rookie constable who have to get to the bottom of this mystery, entangling both the key cast and crew of the play and those involved with making the film happen. So the trailers for this made this look a ton of fun. Sort of the vibe I was getting was like Knives Out if directed by Wes Anderson. I imagine the result would not be too dissimilar from something like this. And for the most part, yeah, this is a very, very entertaining little whodunit. Obviously, it's not like hugely like groundbreaking in how it presents itself, but it is super fun to watch, and it's very smart. It's very self-aware, sending up some expected tropes. Like there's one really clever joke about flashbacks and title cards that read 3 weeks later, and as well as a lot of nods to Agatha Christie. Maybe leans a little too much into this and maybe gets a little wink wink nudge nudge, but for the most part it is very clever, and there are a fair amount of decent jokes. Perhaps the strongest source of the comedy is through the central chemistry between Sam Rockwell as Inspector Stoppard and Saoirse Ronan as Constable Stalker. These two are a lot of fun together. Saoirse Ronan is just really great with like actual like comic timing, and she really needs to do more comedy stuff. Let's be real. And her like overeager by the books inexperience is contrasted wonderfully with Sam Rockwell's like more world weary grizzled charm. And Sam also does a top-notch English accent, and they're rounded out by a wonderful supporting cast, including perhaps most notably Harris Dickinson as Dickie Attenborough, Reece Shearsmith as John Wolfe, and David Oyelowo as a pompous playwright. And this ensemble is like just a lot of fun. Obviously, some characters feel more developed than others, but for the most part, we do get a decent sense into who these characters are and why they could potentially have had motives to murder the film director. Speaking of the director, like Mr. Leo Kopernik, is played wonderfully by Adrian Brody. He's a ton of fun. He's this really charismatic jackass, and he's just a lot of fun to watch. And despite the fact he's off fairly early on, obviously him being the victim and all, he does have quite an important part to play in the narrative through flashbacks and narration. And at one point there's a really fun, weird dream sequence where he appears as a bartender. It's kind of fun. It's a lot of fun to watch. Now, this is obviously also a very handsomely directed film. You know, directing isn't just about, getting a bunch of pretty shots. It's adapting that style to fit a certain tone and style of filmmaking. And director Tom George, who has done work for the BBC, obviously gets big grander in his ambition here for the big screen. It's a handsomely produced film. Lots of period sets and costumes, and for my comment earlier about it being like Knives Out, directed by Wes Anderson, it does have a fair amount of its own style, namely like Brian De Palma-esque split screens, which are utilised rather cleverly, if maybe a little too much. But, it is a real fun little stylish flourish, and it's topped off by a fun, jaunty little 50s score by Daniel Pemberton, who, of course, did the score for Into the Spider-Verse. Really, where this film comes together is in Act 3. The big reveal of the killer and tying the narrative together, and it's just a wonderful piece of setup and payoff, and you just kind of have to see it because it's really cleverly done and a ton of fun to watch. And yeah, overall, I think that's about something how I feel about the film. It doesn't break any new ground, not particularly. It's super fun to watch, super stylish, and got a ton of energy and funny. Very clever film, yeah. Definitely give this one a watch if you're like a big fan of like whodunits, and and you're looking for something to kind of keep you tided over until Glass Onion comes out in December. And yeah, I'm gonna give See How They Run a 7.5 out of 10. So those are my thoughts on League of Super Pets and See How They Run. Let me know in the comments, have you seen these films? What did you think of them? Don't forget the thumbs up button if you enjoyed. Don't forget the subscribe button if you're new, and don't forget to turn on post notifications so you don't miss an